This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin with breaking news tonight. A Jamestown woman has been airlifted to Fargo after being shot in the chest.
It happened around 4:30 this afternoon in the 500 block of 2nd Avenue Northeast. Jamestown police say the shooting was reported as accidental. Officers say they found a 44-year-old woman with a gunshot wound to her upper chest. They interviewed one 55-year-old female witness. Reports will be forwarded to the Stutsman County State's Attorney's Office for review in the coming week. Now to a Valley News Live investigation. A South Fargo woman is speaking out tonight after she says packages were stolen from her apartment building. Now she hopes spreading the word will help protect others from having their property stolen as well. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling shares her story.
On Tuesday, a woman from South Fargo was waiting for her packages from Amazon. After waiting for a while, she went to the mailroom and spotted a woman carrying packages away, so she followed her outside.
So my thought was like, okay, so she's stealing packages, because you wouldn't go to hand me items that were yours and say, oh, you know, this might be yours. So at that point I was like, okay, give me my box. I was very frustrated and I was like, I have another one and you need to give me that one too.
After trying to get the woman to give up the packages, she took out her phone and got a picture of her. What added to the stress of the situation is that she received a confirmation email from Amazon saying her packages were delivered to her, when in reality they were being taken away.
Very frustrating, and I'm not gonna lie, when I received an email back from them, they were very apologetic, and it seemed like something was gonna change until I received a message from my neighbor today. She got the same thing. It's been handed to your hands. She's at work, so that did not happen.
The woman says Amazon wrote her an email saying, quote, "This kind of package delivery is not acceptable, as we advise and train our drivers not to leave the packages unattended and strictly follow the delivery instructions if there is any," end quote. Fargo police say they're looking into the case, but the South Fargo woman just hopes that other people don't lose their property.
I'm just really bummed out because I ordered things that can be replaced, but what about people that are, you know, they have someone sending them something valuable?
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Amazon confirmed to us they are investigating. They plan to reach out to the woman that's trying to help her further. If you know any information about this case or have recently stolen packages, contact the Fargo Police Department. All right, time now for a check of the weather, and First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Nathan Hopper preparing us for a hot weekend ahead. Nathan.
Yeah, Justin, you got that right. A hot weekend, dangerously hot at that. So if anybody has any outdoor plans, make sure to prepare ahead and be ready for these extreme temperatures and excessive heat index values. It's going to be humid this weekend also. Tonight, though, our Corwin Auto Tower cam showing beautiful skies. There are a few clouds on the horizon, but the sun has just set about 40 minutes ago. We're getting toward the longest day of the calendar year, which is on Tuesday, the summer solstice. But tonight you can take in and enjoy just a beautiful twilight here at the 10 o'clock hour, 10:03. To be exact. There's those temperatures comfortable, 60s, low 60s in Baudette, Roseau, Bemidji, mid 60s, then 71 in Fargo and Grand Forks, 71 also in Jamestown. It's going to be a mild one tonight, not as cool as it was last night, so not exactly ideal sleeping weather, but the wind is still calm tonight, so that's the good news for those outdoor plans, or you know, the 10 o'clock walk of the dog. No problem with that. Single-digit wind speeds, and of course watching that excessive heat watch. That's Sunday morning to Monday morning up and down the Red River, but that heat continues into Monday, which is why we've got First Alert weather days both Sunday and Monday. I'll break down how hot things get and how cool the cool down is. Justin and Stacy coming here in a few minutes.
All right, thanks Nathan.
And with the excessive heat this weekend, it's a good idea to keep that VNL weather app handy for forecasts right at your fingertips. You can download and use it for free. Just search VNL weather in the App Store today. Local power companies are warning about the stress that this weekend's temperatures could put on power grids. Valley News Team's Alex Larson joins us now live in studio with more on what that means for you. Alex.
Justin and Stacy, if the temperatures continue to go up, utilities and customers are likely going to have to work together to help keep power grids stable. We're told people are asked to do their part to conserve energy and stay on the safe side because a blackout or a brownout is not out of the question. Otter Tail Power Company says they're a part of MISO, which includes 15 states and 42 million customers. So even though our local providers may have enough resources to serve their customers, if MISO calls with trouble elsewhere on the grid, then local customers are asked to take part in voluntary outages to help out. Otter Tail says it may be asking for these more frequently too, but there are no set dates on when that will be. It's weather dependent. In extreme circumstances, MISO may ask for a conduct-controlled weather service interruption, which is expected to last an hour or so at a time. The short-term interruptions could save everyone from longer, larger impacts, but they say they will continue to closely monitor the system to watch for bigger issues.
It would take a lot of different things to have happen. In fact, there's multiple steps there in different ways in which you can call upon additional energy to respond to the increased consumption of energy during these hot stretches.
Things you can do as a customer to help out your power company this season are using only necessary lights and turning them off when you leave the room. Unplugging electronics when you're done, turn your air conditioning up a few degrees, delay unnecessary appliances, and only running full loads, as well as postponing your shower until later in the evening. Live in studio, Alex Larson. Justin, Stacy.
All right, thanks so much, Alex. Well, in other news, the ATF was among the agencies that responded to a fire at a church in rural Harwood today. It happened shortly after 8 this morning at the Maple Cheyenne Lutheran Church. Authorities are still trying to figure out how it started. The fire was reported by a passerby who said smoke was coming out of the windows. No one was hurt.
Continuing coverage on last year's deadly shooting in Buffalo, Minnesota. The shooter, Gregory Ulrich, has now been sentenced to life in prison without parole. This week, we got a look at the chilling video from inside the health clinic where he killed one woman and injured several others. Earlier this month, a jury found him guilty on all 11 counts against him, including murder, attempted murder, and setting off explosives. During the trial, he admitted to the shootings, though said he went to the clinic to cause property damage, not intending to kill anyone. Prosecutors countered by showing a recording 2 months before the shooting in which Ulrich outlined his plan, saying he wanted to kill as many nurses as possible.
This is how it ended.
Personally, I've never seen that either after a sentencing.
Applause as Gregory Ulrich was wheeled away to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Most of the people present in the courtroom were victims who were at the clinic that day, either care providers, the people who were actually shot, or patients and their families.
None of the shooting victims or their families spoke in court.
They don't want to give this defendant any attention or any satisfaction. This defendant doesn't deserve a second of their time.
But when it was all over,
we've been through a lot.
They did.
Not quite real yet, I don't think. We're still kind of processing that this is finally over. It's been a difficult journey, and it certainly has turned those that you come to work with every day into quite the family.
One pain pill.
Back in the courtroom, Gregory Ulrich did choose to speak just before he was sentenced, taking no accountability and blaming others for his actions.
I'm not ashamed of anything. There are other people besides me responsible for me being out of my head.
But absolutely ridiculous, and it just shows what an evil person he is. And these innocent, defenseless victims had nothing to do with him being cut off pain medication, and they didn't deserve his attack.
This has been a long, tough, hard road, but through that we've gotten stronger.
All right, switching gears now, a Fargo man is facing several charges after being found with nearly 100 photos and videos depicting child porn. According to documents, they include children as young as 1 year old. Brock Ashland Feifel was charged in Cass County Court on 5 felony counts of possession of prohibited material. Court records show a warrant is now out for his arrest.
A Facebook post is getting a lot of attention. It shows pictures of fully intact tombstones found at an East Grand Forks dump. Alex Sethry was searching for rocks for his garden when he says he found about a dozen of the tombstones smashed but intact.
It was Memorial Day just a couple weeks ago, and I was visiting my relatives' graves and stuff like that, and to see intact graves sitting in a dump, it really disheartened me.
Robin Purcell, the administrator for Grand Forks Cemetery Association, says people may want a new marker made for a number of reasons, including to combine markers for couples who have died, and she says it's not a sign of disrespect. A North Fargo father is urging families to keep a close eye on their bicycles after he says not one, but 2 of his son's bikes were stolen just within the last 2 weeks. The first happened at their home on 9th Avenue South. The next happened at Island Park Pool. Both times the bikes were locked up, but they were still able to be pedaled away.
What's wrong with people? Like, if you want a bike, buy one. Don't steal somebody else's.
Fargo police say officers have seen an uptick in bike thefts all across downtown Fargo over the past month, saying in most cases the locks aren't cut, rather they're not put on properly, allowing thieves to just remove the seat or a wheel and then take the rest of the bike.
New tonight, crews are busy tonight setting up for the West Fargo Street Fair. It's going to be a hot one for the dozens of artists, crafters, and food vendors who will set up shop tomorrow at the Yards on Cheyenne. That event is scheduled from 10 until 3. It's also a weekend of Juneteenth celebrations all across the country, including here in the Valley. There's a free event tomorrow from noon till 7 at the F4H Community Center on 19th Avenue North. There'll be vendors, bounce houses, several artists. Fargo Arts and Culture Commission's also hosting an event Sunday from noon till 5 at NDSU's Renaissance Hall with food, performances, a hair show, community resources. There's also an event in Moorhead this coming Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 in the evening featuring local African-American activists. You can find a link to register and more information on our website, valleynewslive.com.
And a heads up for Monday, there will be a pop-up food pantry in West Fargo. Contact-free grocery pickup will be available from 4 to 5:30 in the parking lot of the Lutheran Church of the Cross on 13th Avenue East. There will be fresh fruits and veggies, bakery items, dairy, non-perishables, and meat items. It's all first come, first serve. Anyone is welcome. You can find out more using the link on our website, valleynewslive.com.
Still